Hey everybody, welcome back to Six Spirit Gaming. Today I want to talk about the Crystal Arena scam. What's going to keep you out of Crystal rank, and how most people get into it. It's very silly. It's very silly and not honorable at all. It's something that SBI needs to crack down on pretty soon, because currently I don't think SBI does anything. I don't think they care. I don't think when you report players for trolling and for AFKing or for feeding the team, I really don't think they care too much, to be totally honest. And it's really sad that that's kind of the case. But basically, in the Crystal Arena scam, what players have been doing is really all they're doing is they will queue up for Arena with multiple people, and the people they want to boost will be usually in a 3-man. The people that don't care, well, they take turns boosting each other anyways. But what they do is literally they just queue up for Arena. 3, 4, 5 people will queue up. The 3-man team will be over here. Everybody will get a queue, or the two, like when this team gets the queue with one of their friends, that one of their friends throws the game. So then they win, because you can't win without a healer. And then you report the way they do it is pretty sneaky. So the reason I'm going to show you some healing stuff right now is because there is no excuse for healers being super slow. Especially if they're holy. They could be new, they could be, just playing on the cell phone or whatever. But with no bonuses, this is the kind of healing output that anybody should be able to give you. Okay? Hey, close that door, China. So because this is how healing works, right? And even if they're running the AoE, it's still not that damn slow. Cooldown food, basic build. So when healers are like this, this is purposely moving slow, right? Like this is them losing the game because they're purposely not healing you enough to survive. Now, so how many times it's a bad healer versus how many times it's a good healer, I don't know. That's just acting bad? I don't know. And I don't even care, really. The point is that most of the players in this game that hit Crystal do it in one of two ways. Nobody does it solo like I've been trying to do. I've been gold 4 6 times, and every time what happens is I win, I get a streak going, and I get about right here. Then I start getting AFK teammates, and then I start getting thrown into the mix against 5-man pre-mades with people in bronze and silver that don't know what they're doing, that have no skills. So if it's not somebody throwing the game on purpose for their team, for their friends on the other side, it's the matchmaking system being against you if you're not in a 5-man. The other system is the game there's no linear system for how many points you get versus how many points you lose. Sometimes I get 8 points, 12 points, 6 points. Sometimes I lose 3 points or 15 points. I don't understand it. So until SBI really has to not just redo this, but they've got to fix their bullshit, man, because it's impossible currently in Crystal Arena to solo to Crystal. You got to win 4 games in a row only to lose one and be back almost to where you started, and then the climb starts again. So how do we deal with the Crystal Arena scam? One is to always have a healer, and 2, have as many people in your group that know how to play as possible. 3-man is always going to pretty much lose against the 5-man. And the way I look at it is I'm pretty good at this game, so if I have 5 of me on the enemy team versus only 3 of me, the 3 of me can't win because this game is limited. Like, you're limited in your individual abilities to do things. So the way that I solo fast to get Crystal or to get gold 4 every time is just to heal. But that's just one aspect. Now, just because you have a solid healer who's not going to get killed by every single thing that comes at me, doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to do the damage for you. Okay? So I'm not going to be able to just carry the game on my own healing. I can sometimes if the team's trying really hard. But it's all about the matchups and the comps and things like that. But the last part is the crystal. It's not even really technically a scam, but it's basically the answer to all the issues that Albion Online has. Whether it be people running a radar, which SBI still hasn't fixed. People run fucking radars all the time. Whether it be the throwing system, and no matter how many times we report the same player for throwing a game as a healer by literally just taking clothes off and running up and dying. No matter how many times you report that player, that son of a bitch is always back in the game. He's always back in there. So, what is the answer to it? Well, the answer is really simple. If you're not going to run five-man groups that you know everybody and do it honorably, you're going to have a hard time getting Crystal. Every Crystal player that you see in all these guys who are Crystal, none of them got it solo. None of these guys got it solo. They're in whole 5-man groups. Or they run 3 with a really, really good healer killing combo. So it's 3 people that have the ability to get a game quickly and always kill the enemy team's healer. So there's not many different ways to do it. Solo, as a healer, see, I've lost my last 2, so I'll win this one. I also have their system. I've also got their system mapped out for when I'm going to lose and when I'm going to win. So right now I'll abort this queue because it's going silly. The reason it's going silly right now is because there's a lot of people that are trying to get their friends in the same group. That's the reason people quit the arena, is they're hitting the accept button. As soon as they hit it, their friend didn't get it, so they cancel it and they wait a minute. So they'll cancel it and they'll reset and do that. So whenever you see that Crystal Arena, Crystal Arena, Crystal Arena, Crystal Arena, just redo the queue. The way Crystal Arena works is if you're a DPS and you're sitting somewhere waiting for the arena and you're actually wanting to play, as soon as that button clicks, you hit it and you accept it. The only people who are not accepting it are people who are trying to abuse the system. So now it threw me into a different matchmaking loop. And basically, if this doesn't fill up and go the first time, then I won't do the arena. So if somebody cancels and it restarts, I just requeue. And then the final thing that I want to talk about is on gear. I finally understand kind of the big scam with gear in Albion. So now that we have Crystal Arena, because we didn't always have Crystal Arena, right? We had Arena and we had like the Crystal League, but there was never a Crystal Arena. Crystal Arena, in my opinion, is the single best content Albion Online has. It is the best. It is safe, super competitive, super awesome. You can learn the entire game, mechanic-wise, from Crystal Arena. The 5-man coordination is like basically your Crystal Arena group, your homies. You can go out into the world and do damn near everything. So this, I'll accept the next one because this is somebody who probably just went AFK or forgot. I've done it before. But when it goes doop 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 doop, just redo it. Because I know how many people, I know how many people are not playing this game fairly. So that's one of the things that I think is going to make a difference is if you're not getting if it's not just if it keeps popping up over and over and over again, it's bouncing you around into different matchmaking groups. And the reason it's doing that is because you have players that are sitting on an island, all queued up, trying to get each other matched. So basically, in the Crystal Arena climb, right, I would say that your solo climb from Iron to about Gold 3 is on your individual skills. If you can hit Gold 3 by yourself, awesome. And the other thing is, if you look at the percentage of the players here in the group, I'm already in the top 1% of players. But that doesn't matter when I do DPS. because if I go DPS, what ends up happening is every time the healer on my team, not every game, because I go on, usually my games go on like 10 and 15 game win streaks, and then I have a series of 2 or 3 or 4 losses and I lose my gold rank. And when I lose gold rank, it's always because healers are throwing, or I have AFK guys, or I have dudes. Like it's never fair. I never lose fairly. So what I do is instead, so I didn't even look at their comp. Okay, nothing to worry about. Nothing to change my build for. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to worry about, but nothing to change anything on. Okay, so these guys are a little too far away, which is fine. Use my first potion before I need to start backing up. Run into the fire. That's the reason I love fire staffs, and I keep them safe always. The fire from that flame artillery keeps me damn near 100% safe. Alright, so now I'm in trouble. Now I just gotta focus heal myself a little bit. And with the single target queue, it's important that what you do is so the way that I feel kind of stupid for not using it sooner. The way the single target queues system works is it counters all the damage of the game, because it gives you the ability to increase the healing on a target. So like I'm about to take damage, it's fine. So like right now when I start healing myself, right, I'm giving myself a healing bonus. This healing bonus that I'm giving myself is going to allow me to almost full health if I go below on my E. And this is one of the reasons that it's hard to kill. It's become very hard to kill me as a healer now, because I can heal through a lot more than I used to be able to. That was a mistake. Use my potion and get my boots back. So now I should have went ahead and popped it, but I was trying to wait for my cleric robes, and that the cleric robe bonus would have full health me on my E. But again, now their whole team is focusing me as a healer. So this is a focus healer, focus healer, focus healer, and their healer should be dying very quickly. So the fire staff always gives me protection with damage. Spread out so he can't hit us both. He has to choose. Fire staff needs to fight though, because they don't have interrupts. Fire staff isn't fighting, so I have to run away. It's kind of the point is that's how you're able to tank damage as a healer. You just keep healing yourself. I shut his healing completely off right there. That's fine. So now I'm gonna stack myself for my big heal. Can't run away from the healer, buddy. So that's one of the things you can tell from somebody who is like is not Crystal Arena. Yeah, if the team's not gonna help you, just run away. Like I can't help it. If you don't help me, I can't help you. So learning how to survive as a healer is tricky, man, but you gotta learn how to do it. And this is how you're able to win a lot of games as a solo. Thank you for the energy, sir. Just reposition, man. Sometimes like you have to understand that most of a lot of people who play this game, they're not really playing the game, right? They're on a cell phone, or they're just randomly, like they're just playing. They're not trying to hit crystal rank. They're just playing. They're used to the automatic systems that the game has. There's a reason I can win a lot of games as a healer, just by not dying. me just reset it like this. He's no longer in trouble. That's the reason I'm not, like, most of the games, I'm not scared of carry-on callers. Because carry-on callers, all they do is, it's a tiny window of damage, of reduction in healing. You can counter that with the way that the single target Q works. So, like, he did a good job right there. Now he's in trouble, but he doesn't have the damage to kill him. So even though he's, like, massively healing received, or healing reduced, you can still heal him. It's not like you turn healing off. And this is how I win this is how I solo all my Crystal Arenas. I just play the most pivotally important role, and just play. And what that does is it shuts down the ability for me to be a victim of the scam that's going on in Crystal Arena. And also, I don't use good gear anymore, because in here I got 1,000 IP and I'm having no issues. And since I've learned how to single target Q, it's made basically I have the advantages of wholly out healing, but also I can survive like I'm using nature. So that's the main system. I still run Horn. I'm gonna make a book pretty soon and do some testing on the book to see if it's better, or what has the highest healing output. I'm sure it's still the Horn, but and yeah, that's basically it. So when y'all are doing Crystal Arena games, and you wonder why you're losing all the time, and you wonder why people are so bad, it's not that people are bad. There are some people that are bad, okay? Some people are bad, or they don't know. I don't think anybody's like bad, right? I think people have a hard time. He even out-healed me and didn't die though. He didn't die, but not dying is not healing. Having more healing than me, that shit don't matter, bro. He should have had more healing because my team had twice as much damage as his. This is what matters. Don't let your... Halifal is good at keeping itself alive, but it's harder to keep your teammates alive. The healing role is a tricky one to play. But most of my games look like this. Just a normal game that I win. Nothing crazy. And it happens every time I go solo healing. Because and with that new system up there I told you all about, I think that's how I can solo Crystal pretty easily. But I'm also not scared to bring my son or bring my wife into a Crystal Arena. I'll play with anybody who wants to. I just gotta heal. The next video I'm gonna do is on how actually to get your build based around Crystal Arena fighting versus solo content.